All right guys, Dr. Cass here. This is the latest recap video from our last class that we had on Saturday. Remember, before you start this, to go ahead and take a few minutes to say hello to your toes and the rest of your muscles and get warmed up. Here we go. So we'll start with the butterfly again. So we're going to bring our feet together, put our hands on our ankles, and we're going to use our elbows to drive our knees down into the ground. Remember, on this one, we're keeping our backs nice and straight while we do this. And that's the butterfly. All right, so from the butterfly, we kicked one foot out forward, and we're going to bend forward. Now remember, we had two ways to do this. So the first way, we're going to keep our backs nice and straight. Remember, think about that pole hinging from the hips. And we're going to bend forward. Now remember, we're thinking about driving our chest forward instead of focusing on touching the feet. Remember to shake that out. That's a good stretch for the back of the legs. And the second way was the more traditional way, where you're just leaning forward, trying to get your hands on your toes and your head down to your knee. If you can only grab your ankles, that's fine. But remember, during this one, I challenged you to alternate between pointing your toe forward and pointing it up towards the ceiling and focusing on the different areas of the leg that it's stretching when you're doing that. And shake it out. From here, we can stretch our quads. So we're going to bring one leg bent back behind us, and you're going to lean backwards. And remember, if this is the best you can get, that's fine. If not, you can come down to your elbows and stretch, or you can come the whole way down. Switch sides, and then try both. Remember, the goal is to get your back and your shoulders completely flat onto the ground to allow a nice deep stretch in your quads. Now we're going to pop up into our pirate's pose. We're going to lean forward and get a nice deep stretch in the front of the leg. And then in one movement, back onto that foot to stretch the back of the other leg. And you can practice alternating those. And from here, you can bring your hands down if you're not very stable, but I challenge you to remain upright. Next, we're going to stretch our shoulders. So first, we're going to bring our arm around to the back. And we're going to hold that. And we want to get our arm as deep as we can. If you can only get it to your head, that's fine. But you really want to work on getting that arm down as far as you can. You should be feeling the stretch right here. All right, and to deepen that stretch, I'm going to go back in the same position, but now we want to cement our arms on our backs, and we're going to lean to the opposite way. You should be feeling that stretch come down along here as well as the front of the arm. All right, we can also stretch the top part of our shoulders and the lower parts of our necks by taking our hands behind one side and pulling that shoulder downwards. Again, you should be feeling that stretch along the top part of the shoulder here. All right, so next, remember we took our left hand forward to say stop, brought it across, You cupped it with the right hand. And you're pulling that arm across and the shoulder downwards. Remember, if you can get it at the elbow, that's okay. But the further down the wrist you go, the deeper the stretch is going to be. You should be feeling this stretch again along up in this area. If you're feeling it here, do not do this stretch. As for the neck stretches this week, I showed you something that you can do whenever you're having a very severe headache that you knew was coming from muscles in the neck. Remember, we took our hands and we laced them together around our heads, but instead of dropping our head forward, we were pushing our head back into our hands and releasing, only holding it for about 7 or 8 seconds. Remember that I came around and pressure on your arm, the amount of pressure that you should be placing on here. Remember not to go too hard or you can strain or injure that muscle. And remember, after that one, whenever you're pressing your head back into your hands, remember I encourage you to spend a few minutes on laying on the bone pillow to help traction that neck out and to help those muscles relax. All right, guys, remember that I wanted you to spend some time laying on your back doing the happy baby. So be sure that you're doing that, and also to be practicing your crawling. I'm sure that you haven't thought about it since we haven't done it in our last couple classes. Be sure that you're practicing that crawling as well as the bird dog. All right, everybody, great job. That sums up most of the new moves that we had this last Saturday. As always, if you're looking for a specific move that we've done in a class before, you can find it on one of the previous videos. I am looking forward to doing a quick daily routine for you guys, just a little 5, 6, 7-minute video for y'all. So give me a couple days to put that together, but great job, and we'll see you soon.